Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another college hockey game review here. And I didn't necessarily have a real plan to do this one. I had a hockey game last night, and I'm coming home, and I have Denver's University hockey tweets on their hockey account, and I have the tweet notifications on. And I was looking yesterday to see if there was any other college games I could do, because of, since I've been doing them for Cam York, I decided, let me see if there's any other Flyers prospects that I can do. And I know Bobby Brink obviously does play for Denver. And I was looking, and it said they played at 6:35. Well, I didn't necessarily read that right because it was 6:35 Mountain Time, which is 2 hours, back here in Eastern Standard Time. So that's 8:35. The game was at 6:35. So I was like, oh, okay. I get home around like 8:30. I'm like, oh, okay. So I find a stream. I paused it for about 20 minutes, and I was able to watch the game, cover the game, and I ended up being able to cover a game here for Bobby Brink here with Denver versus North Dakota. It was a very good game. Brink was on the first line right wing. He wore number 24 for Denver here. So kind of just starting off with this game. This is the second game for Denver. They ended up losing the first game. North Dakota, they ended up winning as well. So as of right now, North Dakota, they are 1-0-1, so they have one regulation win and one overtime win. So technically 2 wins. And then Denver, they have one regulation loss and one overtime loss. They have 1 point on the year. So a lot of things that I thought kind of came out of this game. I thought Brink had a very good game, to be honest with you. He ended up having 2 points. He had 2 assists. He was out there for all 3 Denver goals. Kind of just to break it down, though, first period, Brink, he, as I said, playing the first line, he starts the opening period there. Hit a real nice defensive play to start a breakout on a shot from the point that ended up going wide, and that was around the 16:45 mark of the first period, so a little early. That was probably Denver's main chance where they ended up actually getting majority of the offensive pressure, but they didn't really get any shot on net. They kind of just had zone time. Brink and their line was essentially, and it was really Brink's line, and then the rest of Denver were pretty much stuck in the zone for a while after that. From the 15-minute mark to around 11:30, but they were playing well. They were. I think the problem was that they were playing well, but they just couldn't get the puck. I mean, they struggled many times to get the puck out of the zone, and I feel like early, the first 7 minutes or so was really all North Dakota, and then Denver kind of started to settle into the game. Denver ended up getting a power play here at 9:41. Brink was on the first power play unit. He had a great pass, and this was Brink's first point here. It was a goal by Carter Savoy, who's an Oilers prospect. It was a play where Brink, he plays on the right side. He's right-handed, so essentially look at it as like Claude Giroux playing on the right side. That's just the visual aspect of it. Brink, he gets it. He goes to take a shot. It ends up getting blocked. Savoy was absolutely wide open on that side. Sends it right over. Bam. 1-0. And it was a quick one-timer into a wide open net for Savoy. That was his first of the season. And that was also Brink's first point of the year. Brink was generating chances in the offensive zone around the 6.5-minute mark. Denver's confidence was definitely rising after that goal. There was actually a 3-on-2, and it was weird because I saw a lot of times in this game, Brink played a lot of plays like he was a center. It seemed like I noticed that they would have him actually go a lot lower as a winger and play essentially as a center, even though he is a winger. Just cover it as a center. There was a lot of plays where like that he would just drive to the net and get real aggressive in front and try to break up plays. He ended up breaking up a 3-on-2. He played it like a center, as I said, but there was a penalty called on Denver, and Brink played the last 23 seconds of that penalty. So the end of the first period comes. It was 1-0 Denver after that. And shots on goal were 8-6 in favor of North Dakota. Starting the second period, Brink had a really nice defensive play around, and really in the first 20 to 30 seconds to break up a 2-on-1. He was playing really good on D. At this point, I feel like his defensive game has gotten a lot better from what I saw. I thought he had a really good World Juniors, as I talked about last year, and I'm really excited for him this year as well. North Dakota ended up getting a power play, too many men. It was a power play, and then it was negated with the too many men on North Dakota. So it was 22 seconds of 4v4. It was some solid plays on the 4v4 for both teams, but the power play really nothing going for Denver. Denver ended up getting, in this second period there was a lot of penalties. So Denver ended up getting a goal interference call at 5:53. It was kind of a drive to the net, and they called it because he lowered the shoulder and it kind of went into the goaltender. And then North Dakota ended up getting a power play. 4-and-4 for 4 seconds at 3:57, and then Jake Sanderson ends up tying the game here on a bullet one-timer. I'm sure you might have seen the highlight already. I don't know if it was on Twitter or anything, but if you can try to find it, I would look it up because it was an absolute bullet of a shot, top corner to tie the game at 1. North Dakota ended up getting another power play, 1:55 left. They didn't get really much going on that. End of the second period, the shots on goal in the period were 14-5 in favor of North Dakota, and 20-11 at the end of the period. So essentially, it was pretty much just an onslaught of penalties, and they had a lot of power play time, a lot of zone time. And when you're killing penalties, you can't really get momentum like that. So it was kind of tough for Denver and Brink and their line to really generate much offense in that second period. But they start off 30 seconds in. Denver, they get a little 3-on-2. Brink with an unbelievable saucer pass right over to Edwards, and it was a beautiful shot, and that was a snipe there. So that is 2-1. That was Brink's second point of the game, his second primary assist as well. Brink ended up helping out down low on this play here, prevented a scoring chance. And again, that was around the 16:45 minute mark of that second period. So again, I feel like majority of the time he played a lot of this game like a center. He's essentially a center at wing is what I'm taking, and how he played at this game. I feel like he was very good on defense, very aggressive. He is smaller, but he uses that to an advantage, to be honest with you. He can bang too. It's not like he's just small and gets beat off the puck every time. He can bang. And he had some really nice plays where I saw he was able to go in against 1 or 2 guys and just come out with the puck because he's small and he's very skilled like that. Denver ended up getting a power play at 16:44, so about 5 seconds later, after Brink prevented a scoring chance, I believe it was a trip that ended up what caused that power play. They couldn't really get much going though. Denver ended up getting a penalty here at 13:54. Brink had a 2-on-1 chance, no goal. The pass in front was killed off, or the pass in front was deflected away. The penalty was killed off, excuse me. 2-2 North Dakota. It was a great play by Sanderson. It was essentially it was so weird because they challenged this for too many men. It first got reviewed and then never challenged it after. So it was like a 10-minute delay, and it was like a 1-on-4 in the corner, or like a 1-on-4, 1-on-3, whatever. Sanderson's there, and instead of just him chipping the puck low because he has so many guys on him, he waits, he picks his head up, and he ends up finding Eric Frisch at the point, and he ends up taking a really nice shot, ended up scoring top corner from the point. I had no idea how it went in. I thought it got deflected at first, but it was a great shot. As I said, they reviewed it, challenged it, and it was still a good goal. They actually challenged it for too many men because there was no offside because it was a change. That was why they had called it too many men, because they were changing. Sanderson was already in the zone. He had carried the puck in, and it was in the corner, and they had so many guys go to him that they left the guy at the point essentially wide open, and they ended up scoring to tie the game. Brink had a very unfortunate turnover right after the goal. So it's a play where Brink had essentially covered for the defenseman, and then he goes to send a backhand pass. He kind of turns, sends a backhand pass, picked right off in front. They score on the backhand. It's an unfortunate play that I at this point, he had a really good game. This maybe sent it back a little bit because it was he had the turnover. And again, it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was just he had already turned and his head was down. He didn't necessarily see where the puck was going. He was trying to throw it over to the defensive partner, and it's picked off, and they score right on the backhand. But Denver ends up getting a power play, and Carter Savoy again. Great shot on the stick side. He ties the game at 3. End of the third period here. Brink was out there, so he was out there, as I said, he was out there for all 3 of Denver's goals in this game. The shots on goal in this period were 11-10, and at the end of the third period, they were 33-21 North Dakota. So it was pretty even period offensively. Teams had a lot of chances. There were 4 goals in this period, and it was a very good period, to be honest with you. It was a great game from just the broadcast, which was very high quality, which I loved. The announcers were unbelievable for North Dakota. I will say they were great compared to what I had to deal with the other night with the Penn State-Michigan game. The Penn State announcer, he sounded like the Tampa Bay radio announcer when they had won the Stanley Cup, because that is how loud and obnoxious that guy was on some plays that were just simple hockey plays. It was kind of annoying after a while, I will say, but 3-on-3 overtime, Brink ended up starting it. They had a chance, couldn't really get much going, and then I'm definitely going to butcher this. Kawaguchi, he ended up scoring here for North Dakota, a great goal upstairs. He comes in and he roofs it right up top. It was a good game. It really was. I will say, I thought Brink had a very good game. Overall, I think Denver was good. Denver's a very good team. This is a very storied rivalry in college hockey. There's been a lot of games between these two teams, so it was a great game. I will say, I feel like that if you can actually find the highlights or just the condensed game highlights, I would watch it. I don't know if you can find a full game replay, but overall, it was a great game. I actually had a really good time covering it, because sometimes when I watch these games, it kind of get boring after a while, I will say, because like it like when I had watched the first game with York, it was 8-1, and like as I said with Alex, and that was when I did the video with Alexander Appleyard, it was a blowout, but it still kind of kept your attention. But then, like, at times it kind of just gets, like, sometimes a little bit boring, because it's not necessarily the best offensive chances. But this was a very good hockey game, I will say. But overall, as I said, I thought Brink had a really good game today. Or, excuse me, last night, as I'm recording this today, because I was going to do this video last night, but it was already 11 o'clock when the game was over, because it starts at 8:30. Then there was the challenge, then I'm going overtime and everything, so... And I was also delayed. I was like 10 minutes back of the game the whole time, so I didn't get done watching until about 11:30 at night. So I figured I'd do it this morning. So again, guys, remember, podcast, articles, those links are on my channel. If you were able to watch this game, let me know what you thought of Brink and Denver last night. What did you think of the game or anything like that? And again, the Florida Podcast has a merchandise store. The link is on my channel and is also in my Instagram bio. Also, we will be going live for the podcast tonight at 8 o'clock. It'll be streamed on my channel, The Painted Lines, Amadeo's YouTube channel. Remember to come join us. We'll be talking about a bunch of things, from the World Juniors to delays and all that crap. So please, again, thank you all for the support with everything you guys have given me with the podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and everything, the articles and Flyers nitty-gritty and all that stuff. I really do appreciate you guys every single day. And remember, guys, let's go Flyers, and I will talk to you all again soon.